So we've finally made it to 2024, and this is the January 2024 work experience update. So in this video, I'm going to be going through all the work experience opportunities which are closing in January, so you can make sure you get your applications in. And now January is a big month for work experience. There wasn't much going in December in the build up to Christmas, but there is a lot in January, and that is because February half term is a massive opportunity for work experience. So most likely it's going to be 12th of February is when February half term is. That is when there's loads and loads of work experience which is going on. So in this video, I'm going to be going through loads of opportunities which are happening in February half term that you need to make sure you get your applications in sometime in January. However, also I would recommend tuning into next month's update, the February update, because there's going to be even more which are closing their doors on the 5th, 8th of February in preparation for that half term week starting the 12th of February. And now if you're free the whole of February half term, I've got some ones for you today which are 5 days, 4 days. They can keep you occupied throughout that February half term, and that's a really good thing to put on your CV, saying you did a 4-day, 5-day work experience. It really shows a good commitment. But maybe you've got stuff going on, you don't have that much time. No worries, I've got you covered in this video. So I've got some ones which are just 1 day, so from 9 to 3, maybe 1 day during February half term where you can get some work experience. But even if that's too much for you, you're really busy, again, don't worry, I've got you covered. So I have some which are literally just 1 hour webinars you can do during February half term or during January, literally in only an hour of your time, but you can put that on your CV and it looks really good, okay? So this is the January update for work experience. So as usual, I'm going to highlight the 2 best work experience I think is happening this month, just to start off with these. And the first one is the TCS London Marathon Go IT Work Experience 2024. So if you're interested in DTS, digital and technology solutions, which is computer programming, computer coding, software engineering, all that sort of thing, then this is a very good work experience for you to do, and is a 5-day work experience with Tata Consultancy Services, which is a very good company. That's a very good name to have on your CV. You're going to be doing activities on topics such as design thinking and UX, and as I always say, I'll say it again, activities are a really good thing on work experience, because one thing you can get from work experience is knowledge. You can learn about the sector, learn about the company. That's great, that's amazing, we like that. But even better is when you're doing actual activities and projects on these work experience, because when you're doing activities and projects, you're not only learning knowledge, you're also learning skills, which skills are the most important thing apprenticeship companies are looking for. So when I go through this list today and you see where I'm mentioning activities or projects, those are definitely ones you want to check out. So in this Tata one, yeah, they've got activities going on things like UX and design thinking. So this is a really good one to do. And then I've added another tag to this, which is sustainability. And that's because this work experience has a focus on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Now, if you know about the UN Sustainable Development Goals, then this straight away is putting you in the top 1% of candidates, right? Because most people, when it comes to sustainability, they just go on the website and they say, oh, you want to be net zero by 2040. They find that one statistic, right? But there are companies who have a more detailed look onto sustainability. And there's something called the UN Sustainable Development Goals. They have different goals. For example, goal 3 is health and well-being. They have all sorts of different goals. I'll put them on screen right now so you can see these goals. Just having knowledge of some of these goals is really beneficial. Like, it puts you above everyone else if you can say, I know that this company wants to go towards goal 8 or goal 5 or whatever it is, and then explain what that goal is. That's like really high level knowledge. That's higher than anyone else. And in this one, this Tata London Marathon work experience, they're focused on goal 3, which is about health and well-being, obviously because the London Marathon, people keeping fit and everything. So that's something you can put on your CV, which is really good. Basically, you can say, I learned about sustainability, in particular UN Sustainability Goal 3, health and well-being. I believe that health and well-being is really important. I hope I can improve people's lives with my career. Saying a sentence like that sounds absolutely amazing. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight this one. And then final thing, there's no prior knowledge required. You don't have to be a coding, computer science expert or anything to do this. Maybe you've never done coding before, you haven't done computing, you're just a bit interested in DTS or sustainability or anything like that. No previous knowledge is required, so you can just go into this. And also another thing I should add is this is there's also a competition element included. Again, ones where it's a competition are amazing, because you can put on your CV that you've done this competition and like you came 4th or something or whatever it is. That looks absolutely amazing. Okay, so I've gone with this one first because overall I think this could completely change your apprenticeship prospects because of how good an opportunity, because it includes everything: knowledge, activities, UN sustainable goals, competition. This is a really good one if you're interested in DTS. Absolute no-brainer. If you've got 5 days free over February half term, definitely recommend doing this one. Closing date for this one is January 21st, so make sure you get in before then. Okay, the next one I've highlighted, it's a 1-day work experience with Santander. And I've just highlighted this because over the past few months, there hasn't really been much finance or banking work experience. This is the first one I've actually seen in a couple of months, which is why I just wanted to highlight it here. Because if you are interested in finance, in banking, that sort of thing, you're looking to go to a company like KPMG, Deloitte, EY, PwC, Deutsche Bank, that sort of thing, then having this finance, banking, work experience is really important. It's actually quite rare, so this is a rare opportunity to get some banking work experience. So it's just 1 day with Santander. You're going to learn about the industry, you're going to hear from industry professionals. It's a really good opportunity to put some banking work experience onto your CV. And once again, you're going to complete team-based activities. That's really, really useful because with these activities, you're going to learn communication skills, teamwork skills, collaborative skills, innovative skills, all of that. So this is a really good one to have if you're interested in banking and finance. The deadline for this one is the 24th of January. Okay, so now that I've highlighted those two, I'm just going to go through the whole list and do this in time order. So I'm going to start with the one which you need to apply for first and then go further to the end of the case. The first one is Bentley Apprenticeships 101, and this is sort of a masterclass they're going to do during the day, a virtual work experience where you're going to learn about the Bentley brand and you're going to hear from apprentices across the business, the roles they do, what sort of things they do, opportunity to ask questions, all of that. If you happen to have seen one of my CV videos, 5 actionable steps you can take right now to improve your CV, I mentioned one really important step in here that can improve your CV massively is getting the company name you're applying for in, okay? So say you're applying for PwC, my advice was get PwC somewhere in your CV. So get work experience from PwC, watch a webinar from PwC, because when a company sees their own name in a CV, straight away they just like your CV more by like 50% because it says the name. So if you're interested in engineering and manufacturing and you want to apply to Bentley, this is a no-brainer to have, because if you're applying to Bentley and you're having your CV, I did virtual work experience with Bentley, genuinely increases your chances by 50% because you mentioned the company's own name in there. So if you're interested in Bentley, definitely do this. But also for anyone interested in engineering and manufacturing, then this Bentley one is for you. Deadline for this one is the 9th of January. Again, on the engineering manufacturing front, we have the JLR Drive Your Future virtual work experience. Once again, this is absolutely essential for anyone applying to JLR, because if you're applying to JLR and you can put the letters JLR on your CV, if you can say I've already done virtual work experience with JLR, increases your chances by 50% because you're already in with the company, so of course they're going to want you. But again, it's for anyone else interested in other sorts of engineering and manufacturing. Maybe if you want Bentley or BMW, anything like that, then this JLR one is a really good one for you. You're going to learn about the company and its structure, which is really important because the JLR application process strongly emphasizes research. They want you to know about the company, the brands, their strategy, their vision, all of that. So this virtual work experience is going to give you an overview of that, which you can use in your research. And on top of this, we're going to get activities. So there's activities within this virtual work experience they're going to set you to do, which is useful in your CV. You can use it in interviews. Activities are really good for interviews because when they ask you something like, give me a time you worked as a team, you can say, in this work experience I completed a team-based activity, or give me a time where you've done a written report. And virtual work experience, you can say I did this written activity. So once again, in this JLR we're having activities, which is a really good thing. Now I just want to add on here, JLR degree apprenticeship applications are going to be opening on the 8th of January. Okay, so in January, I'm going to be releasing a full guide on the JLR application process. If you are interested in seeing that JLR full guide, I want you to send me an email right now, subject title JLR, and I will keep you notified and I'll make sure you get sent this full guide first. You get sent the details of how to access it before anyone else. Okay, so if you're interested in that JLR full guide, going through the application process and then all the way onto the assessment center, then I want you to send me an email, JLR, right now. You'll see my email in the description. Okay, so now we have another DTS work experience, and this is with Kainos. Okay, so it's a 3-day work experience again during February half term. So if you have time to do this, I would definitely recommend doing this one. First of all, you're going to learn the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. that is amazing, being able to learn those and being able to put on your CV that you have prior knowledge of those, because it really shows a willingness to learn. The fact that you've gone and done this virtual work experience program and learned these coding languages which you otherwise wouldn't know. Then you're going to get introduced to generative AI and cybersecurity. So these are two massive sectors within the digital industry right now. Generative AI, so that's ChatGPT. That's what generative AI is, generating text responses, that sort of thing. So that's the biggest field. That's the biggest innovation that's happened over the past year, basically, is ChatGPT. So you're actually learning about generative AI. So you're going to be on the forefront of the new technologies. That's an amazing thing to put on your CV, saying you're learning about these new innovations and all that. So generative AI and cybersecurity, again, that's a massive thing. Cybersecurity, protecting businesses from data breaches and cyber threats and hacks and that sort of thing. So those are two really good sectors you're going to get experience of from this virtual work experience. And then finally, you're going to collaborate on a full project. And now this is an amazing thing to have, because a full project is going to give you teamwork skills, communication skills, leadership skills if you end up being in charge of it. If you're having to come up with solutions, that's innovative skills. Like, that's a really important thing for a degree apprenticeship, is coming up with solutions, because that's all business is. A business is just coming up with solutions for people, whatever the business is. If it's a car business, it's coming up with solutions for how to transport people around. If it's like a digital business, it's giving solutions to get people online. If it's a supermarket, it's solutions for allowing people to eat, right? That's all businesses solutions. So one of the most important skills for an apprentice, and just for anyone in general in the workplace, is making sure that you can come up with solutions, innovative solutions to problems, because you're going to get faced with problems every single day. You need to make sure you're able to act quickly, think of new ideas, and come up with those solutions. So whenever you see an opportunity, basically, to showcase your innovative solutions, your creativity, coming up with new ideas, that's a really good opportunity. So this collaborative project is really good, because if you come up with solutions, it means when you get in an interview, a question, give me a time where you came up with a new solution, straight away you've got your answer there. You've got a really good answer. So this is a really good one I recommend if you're interested in DTS. Deadline for this one is the 16th of January. Okay, so the next one might seem a bit random and probably not related to any sort of apprenticeship, but careers within the nature-based sector on World Wetlands Day. Now stick with me, because probably you don't care about the wetlands or anything like that. So what this is, it's a 1-hour webinar with Nature Scott. You're going to learn about Scotland's wetlands and their role in preventing climate change. Okay, so that, to be honest, probably seems nothing to do with what you're interested in. No worries. Okay, so here's why I think you should do it and why I've included it on the list, right? Because first of all, it's just a 1-hour webinar. Okay, this isn't a 5-day event. It's just 1-hour webinar from Nature Scott about Scotland's wetlands and about climate change and all that sort of thing. So it's not too much of a time commitment. And the second reason I say you should do this is because it's an easy way to tick off sustainability. So when they're going through your CV in 2024, companies have a checklist of things they need to see. They need to see sustainability somewhere on your CV, right? They need to see something like diversity somewhere on your CV. If you're doing DTS, they need to see AI or cybersecurity or quantum computing somewhere on your CV. If you're doing like civil engineering, they need to see like carbon neutral concrete. So there's a whole checklist of modern issues that they need to see, and one of them is sustainability. Every single CV, you have to have something about sustainability, and this is an easy way to check this off, because you can put on here, I watched this webinar by Nature Scott which talks about the importance of preventing climate change and how we can protect nature. This sustainability is a key value I want to take into my career, and having an apprenticeship with your company would help me, because I know how much you care about climate change and being net zero by 2040 or whatever it is. That's just a sample paragraph you can use for your CV or cover letter or application questions, whatever it is, and you can get that from this webinar. Okay, so although it might seem a bit random, like Scotland's wetlands, Nature Scott, what's that got to do with anything? It's an easy way to tick off the sustainability on your CV. If you don't have anything else about sustainability, just do this one webinar, and then you can reference it on your CV to show you care about sustainability and all of that stuff. Deadline for this one is January the 19th. Okay, this one's actually quite an interesting one. This is one that I would do if I was still in school and everything. It's called This Is Mitty, I don't know. And it's a project management one, because MITI is like a facilities management professional services sort of company, and he's in person at the Shard. Okay, so that's why I would have done it, because it's just free pass to the Shard, right? You get to go up the Shard and look over London, all of that. So is in-person work experience at the Shard. And if you're interested in project management, or you're just interested in going to the Shard, and this is one I definitely recommend applying to. So you're going to learn about how the Shard gets managed day to day, and this is just useful project management experience for your CV. So if you are interested in project management, something like that, or to be honest, anything, because this is going to show, like, for managing a facility, you need leadership skills. So even if it's not specifically project management, you can do this and say, I learned about the management of the Shard on my work experience with Mitty. This gave me useful information for how I can be a leader, and I'll need leadership skills within my career. So even if it's not specifically project management, this work experience is going to give you leadership skills in general, which you can mention in your CV and interview, that sort of thing. So that's a great one just for everyone, really, for specifically project managers, but also anyone who wants a bit of leadership experience. The deadline for this one is January the 19th. Okay, this next one's a really good one. I actually would have included these as one of the highlights, but there's only one caveat behind these. This is hybrid work experience with Amy. So there's three different programs. Can you design and build sustainable infrastructure? There's two of those, and then build a sustainable home for the future. As I say, I didn't include these as the highlights, because there's a caveat. It's hybrid work experience, so I think it's 3 days virtual and then 1 day on site or at a location, and it means you have to live in these 3 different locations to be eligible. So let me just read it out. You have to be near to Catterick, which is somewhere in Yorkshire. You have to live in Kent, or you have to live in Birmingham. So if one of those three applied to you, then just listen to this next bit and I'll explain what it's about. It's going to be work experience with Amy, and this is relevant for anyone interested in the construction industry, engineering, or a big focus on sustainability, because as you can see from those titles, a sustainable infrastructure, sustainable homes, sustainability is a big focus. So if you live in those 3 areas and you're interested in construction engineering, again, this is an absolute no-brainer to do. 4 days of work experience with Amy. It will look absolutely amazing on your CV. It's going to give you so many scenarios for the interview, for the give me a time when. You're going to get them. I did a similar one to this from Amy. It was just a 1 day one, but I used that in every single one of my interviews. And this was about, I think it had the same title, Can You Design and Build Sustainable Infrastructure? And we were basically put in teams, and we had to design a train station, then present it to a panel of experts. So that was my answer in the interview for give me a time when you've been a leader, or give me a time when you've worked as a team. I've used that one. It gave me presentation skills, communication skills, like skills to come up with solutions to problems, solutions to this train station. It gave me stuff about sustainability, because of the focus on sustainability. The one I did last year was a 1 day thing, and I used it in every interview, and it got me all the jobs I wanted, right? This is a 4 day thing. This is literally 4 times better than what I did. And mine literally got me my apprenticeships, right? So this is genuinely an amazing one. It's just unfortunate that it's limited to those 3 locations. But yeah, this is a really good one. The project work you're going to do is going to develop your communication, teamwork, innovative skills. You're going to be able to evidence sustainability on your CV, just like I mentioned the importance of that from the Nature Scott one. So if you're in those locations, definitely have a look at this one. This is the 22nd of January. That's the application deadline. Okay, so I've got another one, which again is just a short one. It's just a 1 hour webinar. So if you don't have loads of time during your February half term, maybe you're on holiday or something, you can just tune into this 1 hour webinar, and at least you've got some work experience from the February half term, which you can put on your CV. It's called Skills for the Future with Virgin Atlantic on National Apprenticeship Week. Okay, so it's a 1 hour interactive talk from experts, industry experts from Virgin Atlantic. It's going to talk about the next 5 years of the aerospace industry, and what skills are going to be needed in the next 5 years. And if you're interested in any sort of job at an aviation company or an aerospace company, so like Rolls-Royce, General Electric, Airbus, that sort of thing, any roles, it doesn't even have to be engineering. I've put engineering down because I definitely say for engineers, but even if you're just going to be like a project manager at an aerospace company, or like a HR person at an aerospace company, this is a really good one to do. So I definitely recommend you do this one. It's going to be really good research for applying for that aerospace aviation company. It's just a 1 hour webinar. And by the way, if you are interested in an apprenticeship at an aerospace or aviation company, then I've done a full guide on it. Check it out, how to get an apprenticeship at an aerospace company. I go all in detail about everything you need to know to apply, and go through loads of research. But this is just some extra research that will really help you, and being able to put that on your CV will look really good. So application deadline for this one is the 26th of January. Okay, so now moving on to the final work experience I have for you for January. and that is engineering, manufacturing and business with British engines. Okay, so this is a 1-day work experience with British engines, and this would be really valuable for any manufacturing or engineering people, that sort of thing. And to be honest, I went on their website, had a look at the what they do section, and they're actually very diverse. Like when it says British engines, you might just think of cars. It's actually very diverse what they do. So here's basically a list of the sectors and industries they're involved in. So there's robotics and defense. Then there's a whole section on energy, so hydropower, nuclear power, renewable energy, oil and gas. Then you have other types of engineering like aerospace, chemical, subsea stuff, so like marine, so like submarines and stuff that goes underwater. If you're interested in DTS and that sort of thing, data centers, so if you're interested in data, they do that. But then also construction, transmission and distribution, so like electricity, and agriculture. So basically any of those sectors, if that covers you, this is definitely one I'd recommend. So anything to do with manufacturing, engineering, energy, so if you want to apply to Rolls-Royce, Siemens Energy, whatever it is, any of those I'd definitely recommend. This is basically a broad one for basically every sort of type of engineering and manufacturing at this point. And on top of like that manufacturing engineering focus, there's also a sort of project management element you could get from this, because it's going to focus on like the full sort of process from the very beginning of manufacturing all the way to getting the end product. So if you're interested in project management, again, this is a good one, because you can say you have experience of the full like life cycle of building a product, how you go from like conception of the design and initial manufacture all the way to the end product and testing. So again, this is a good one for project management, because you're going to learn about the full process. Deadline for this one is the end of January. Okay, so there you go. I've given you loads of work experience for January. Most of those are for your February half term. So if you can get time in your February half term to get a couple of work experience, do it. I've got all sorts of time frames for you. I've got one that's just an hour. I've got one that's 5 days. Okay, so just find which sort of time scale works for you and try and get some. I've tried to include as many industries as I can. That's what I do when I do these work experience. So hopefully there's something which is relevant to you. As I said at the start of the video, there's going to be more coming in the next update, the February work experience update, because there's some companies which they have their application deadlines like 3rd of February, 5th of February. So first of all, click on the link in the description. So basically everything I've been going through today, I've put into a table where I've summarized all the information. I've got the links, so you don't have to go searching anything. You can literally just click on the link, go straight to the page, press apply. I've made it already easy for you. So first of all, go on that link and click on those links and apply, see what suits you. And then second of all, if this video has given you value, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when my videos come up, and you'll be notified when next month's guide comes out, the February work experience guide. So make sure you stay tuned for that one in about 28 days time. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day.